You are listening to the Become a Guitarist Today podcast with Adam Roach.
How's it going?
Good morning. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Bit cold here, but
Awesome. It's funny. I purposely made it so the tour arrived in the winter
oh, really?
because every time I play there, it's been like 1,000 degrees, and I'm like, I'm not doing it again. It really was brutal, man. I'm not a big heat person, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I love the heat. My wife's from Thailand, so we go to Thailand like twice a year.
oh, cool,
Yeah.
nice. Yep.
Yeah. So it's not long. So what? Another week or so till you're here.
Yeah, yeah. Late press junket going on here.
Yeah.
But yeah. When next Thursday we play. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So
Right.
Thursday
Yep.
Brisbane, and you got
hmm
Sydney down to Melbourne where I am, and then to Adelaide.
Yep. Melbourne's always the best.
Oh, that's
We
good.
love Melbourne. Yeah. Crowd wise, I mean, that's where the most people come. Nothing against anybody else because the crowds have been awesome all over the place. But for amount of people, that's always that's always the big one. So
Yeah, and you're playing the Croxton, which is you played there before, haven't you?
I think yeah, I played there. I did. I played there with Metal Church and Ross.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's awesome. So this time you're doing Sign of the Hammer for Manowar.
Yeah.
It's going to be
hmm
cool. So I must say,
Oh yeah.
my brother and I, when we first started, he plays drums.
hmm
We used to jam on All Men Play on 10 was our go-to song. So
Yeah, that's a funny story about doing that is for years I thought that song was absolutely stupid. And I'm like, this is dumb. And I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. It's cool. It's just my personal opinion, right?
yeah,
So the idea came up and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to play All Men Play on 10. So I started diving into it and I'm like, whoa, this song's really fucking cool. Like way ahead of its time. And the lyrics work for the music as almost satirical 80s hair metal type of thing
yeah,
in my eyes. I mean, it's cool, but then it's kind of like poking a little bit of fun at it. I mean, come on, plug me into 220, I mean, come on. That's so 80s. It's beautiful. And the riffing is
yeah,
killer, and it needs the groove. When we were rehearsing it, that was like, we're used to playing, the power metal way.
yeah, yeah,
That's that. But this song all of a sudden turns into a, down, and we're like, it's got to groove because if it doesn't groove, it just won't make any sense.
yeah,
Just like Metal Days. If Metal Days doesn't groove, it's gone. It doesn't work.
yeah, yeah.
So that was a big thing to make that happen. So it took us a couple of shows, but we grabbed it. You know.
That's
So
good to hear. I can't wait to hear that one. So it'll be good.
and Guyana was tricky
Oh yeah, yeah,
because the whole beginning
mm,
of Guyana, nah, that's fun. I
yeah,
think the melodies in that beginning are absolutely amazing.
yeah,
It's like I get chills when we sing it. Were you a god or a man on stage? It's so dreamy and beautiful. And then it's like, I love it, man. You can see I'm all hyped. I love that.
yeah, yeah. So is this the first time you played the whole album like this?
But yeah, well, luckily for us, we had always had like I, 4 songs,
Mm,
which is half the record.
yeah.
And we had put 4 songs in the record the whole time.
Okay.
So, yeah, because there's only 8 songs.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, we did 5, and then we added 2. Obviously, the bass solos doesn't count as far as that goes, but
Yeah, yeah,
so we had to add Element Play on 10 in Guyana.
yeah. Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
we added to play. Then it's technically the complete album. So
Yeah.
yep.
Is it going
And
to
we
be?
don't play it in order though. We just play it throughout.
Oh, I was just going to ask that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's more fun. I think it's better. I mean, because if you put certain songs too close together, it kind of lulls the night,
Yeah.
and it's all it's about the set list to keep the momentum going. You don't mind coming down a little bit, but it's high energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, because we were doing um mountains, Wow, I'm totally blanking out here. Secret of Steel.
Actually, oh,
Hey,
there you go.
it's Secret of Steel Mountains in Guyana. They're very similar
Mm,
in Dark Avenger. So, you got to be careful because it definitely brings the show down.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, so you don't want to have too many of those close together. We're very high energy, so
yeah.
I get anxious if we're not rolling.
That's it.
But it's great. It's gonna be a good show. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
gonna be killer. Yeah.
because the last time I had Russ on was it October 2019? He was on the podcast, and that time he was talking about coming over to doing Hail to England, the
Yes.
tribute for that one. Yeah,
Yeah, we did. That was good. I forgot that we did that there.
yeah,
For a while, man. It is kind of crazy when you get to the point, which I'm sure the veterans like Ross, probably even worse so, is you you forget because you do so much and it's so quick. Then you're like, oh my God, that's right. We did do that. Or I remember that.
yeah,
Because everything's so like it's go, 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 and then it's done. And
yeah.
then you go home, you're like, oh, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah,
You know, I like the chaos. As much as we all bitch,
yeah,
the chaos is what makes everything of it. If it went too smooth, we always said something's wrong.
that's right.
Well, we have to laugh about it because if you
Yeah,
don't, you will go crazy.
yeah, exactly.
Like for perfect instant, perfect Ross blunder. We're going to Denmark a couple of weeks ago.
Mm,
So, everybody stays in touch. And so I was coming from LA, so it was a long flight.
mm,
So we come in, and all of a sudden, Ross is like, "Hey, you better be careful. It cost me like $100 to get to the hotel." Well, like, what the fuck you talking about? I'm like, dude, the hotel's 5 minutes from the airport. I go, $100? I go, either you got ripped off or something. So me and Sean are like, we're trying to figure out, we making pretend Uber rides or whatever. It was like about $20,
mm.
right? Oh, it's because Ross went to the wrong hotel.
Oh no!
He
Oh,
went to the hotel where the festival was at, and we weren't booked there until the next day. We were back in Copenhagen, and he was there. He was already there. He's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Dude, you're at the wrong hotel." I'm like, "Hey." So the clown show continued. Oh, and then Dirk and Renee, our sound guy, their flight got canceled while they were in the plane, so they
what?
couldn't come for the next day, and we had rehearsals. So the rehearsals ran late. It's always a clown show.
Wow.
Always a clown show. Yeah, you can't even get mad anymore because it's guaranteed to happen. And I mean, if you ask anybody in this field, they'll probably tell you the same thing. If they go everything runs smooth, I'd be suspect on that.
Yeah, that's right.
No way everything's going smooth.
Yeah,
I don't care if you're Iron Maiden or Kill Switch and you're all gonna have the same thing, and it's true. You
yeah,
know?
exactly. Well, I think after the COVID, just a show to come on, it's fine anyway. No matter what happens.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other story. We
Yeah.
lost a lot of people lost a lot of things because of that bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they pretty much derailed the band for a long time because we we were the day the airports they shut down the country,
Yeah.
I was on a plane that evening to LA
Mm,
to start the next tour.
yeah.
And then find out that at midnight they shut the whole thing down. I just made it.
Oh wow.
So, you know, we found out we were getting a week later, we were supposed to be going and do a European tour with Burning Witches.
Mm,
And we were on a good tear because we had the new album was coming out and all the promotion was going and everything's rolling. And then they pulled the rug out.
mm,
And we must have canceled, postponed like 6 times. And by the time we actually did the tour, it sucked because everybody was still scared. The money wasn't there because venues were scared, and everything was different.
yeah.
And it was it was an tour
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah, yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
and that was a bumming because if it would have went the original route, who knows where things would be. But coulda, shoulda, woulda, I don't know. But that's just the
Yeah.
way it is. But I mean, that was and hey, look, especially me. I mean, I'm very vocal about mental health,
Mm,
and yeah, that sent a lot of us into the dark place that we did not want to be because we didn't know what we were doing.
yep.
And this is our DNA, and when you
Mm,
can't, it's brutal.
yeah.
No matter what. I mean, I've got, other responsibilities and this business or that business, but it's not the same. It's
Yeah.
definitely not the same, you know. And that made it tough. It's been for me when I don't get the tour. It gets depressing because I love to tour because I love seeing new places. I love meeting the people, and it's something different every night. I love that.
Mm,
I'm not big on doing the same thing all the time.
yep. Yeah.
That's
Right.
that's it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm hoping this goes well because we would like to come back,
Mm,
and unfortunately, everything's numbers, and we know that there's a ton of shows coming all at once, and we get why people, it's like, all right, well, Anthrax is playing, and then Ross is playing, and then Iron Maiden's playing.
mm,
When I can only go to two shows, I get it. Maybe, I mean, unless you're a really super hard, well, Manowar fan or something, it's cool. But for the majority, a lot of people are going to go to those, and you're the lower guy in a totem pole. It's just the way it is, and we get that. I just hope that it doesn't do that this time because we
mm.
really would like to come back, and because it has to financially make sense.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "How come you don't have all those kind of dates?" I'm like, "Oh," I go, "It's easy." I go, "We could be playing out of 300 nights a year. We're gonna get paid shit."
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing to do your job and give up this or give up that. At this point in our lives, it has to make sense.
Yeah.
We're not 20. We're not sitting in the back of the car. We don't care in the van, sleeping on the floor of the van, whatever. That was great.
Yeah.
I still didn't make any money,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but it was a different beast then. Now it's like, I'm not leaving my house because why? Well, I'm just going to make it worse for me as much as I want to play. If I could just play, it'd be
Mm,
great. We don't do anything local,
yeah.
so everything's overseas, which I'm grateful for, but that's a that's a whole other beast. You're spending most of your budget getting there.
That's right.
The airlines are making the money, not you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
so that's definitely an obstacle. That's why I keep trying to tell people we might not be able to come back. It might be the last time. It's kind of like the philosophy of like live your day like it's the last.
Mm,
Go play is like if it's your last show. And I mean, that's not gloom and doom. It's a mindset.
mm,
That way, every time is the end. So you have to play your best
yep.
because you don't know if you're going to get to do it again. You
Mm,
know, I mean, with the stuff that would happen with Metal Church having the tour pulled out, the rug pulled out from all of us, that was brutal
mm,
for a lot of the guys in the band because we had planned our whole year out. When the band was building, it was big, and we were getting the money, and everything was working. The machine was rolling.
yeah.
And it was like, I'm
Mm,
like, what the fuck? And for whatever reason, it is, but at the same time, on the other spectrum, there's people like us that's in our DNA.
yeah.
And when you feel lost,
Mm,
even though again, graphics design, video business, and sheds and whatever else, and it isn't the same.
yeah.
So like last year when we only did 6 shows. And that was because by the time that other tour got canceled, everything had already been booked
Yeah.
for most places, so we couldn't get on them.
Mm,
Luckily, we were able to get a couple of things, and I savored every one of those shows. I
yeah.
savored them all. Just like last week, I savored them all because we don't know. I may not be able to go back to Turkey. None of us might be here in 5 years. I don't know.
Mm,
But so that mentality, it's not careless and it's not doom. It's just motivation. Because it is a possibility, very much, but we try not to think about that. But mentally, we go into it and like, all right, let's do this, or we might never get to do it again.
yeah. Yeah. That's
That's
right.
why I keep telling them, go to the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to the show. We
Yeah.
might never see this again. Who knows?
Exactly. So, do you find now though, like things are like semi going back to normal the way it used to be before 2020?
music business wise,
Yeah, yeah.
nah.
Not yet.
It it kills a lot of the business because the problem is, especially here in the States, people think they're entitled to take the music for nothing.
Mm,
They think that they're entitled to um not give you your worth. Because they're afraid to lose money. But why are you in the business then?
mm,
Nothing gets me more pissed off than a promoter that doesn't promote and then blames the band.
yeah, yeah,
Really? That's some fucked up, mentality. Although most of the world is fucked up, so that mentality probably fits in with a lot of that stuff. But it's different. Any other thing. Now you have, um, with AI growing exponentially so fast, that's does have an effect. I mean, I don't know if you're into that stuff, but like I'm a nerd, and
yeah,
I mean a lot of my design stuff I have to because it's going to put me out of business if I don't know it.
yeah, yeah.
But on the music end, I've never used it. I think I've only used it to separate stems to learn a song. That's it. But some of the stuff that I've heard that AI makes, what? I mean, you can't tell, and that's
Oh,
fucked up.
it is.
Write a heavy metal song in the vein of Iron Maiden that talks about World War II biplanes crashing into a bridge.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, in the key of D or whatever. You- Whoa. I'm like, why do I bother? I'm laboring over these meaningful things. And that guy just wrote a whole album in a day. I'm like, oh, is it good? I don't know. It's probably better than most people that fucking try, you
yeah,
know? So that's definitely has a burden. And the other thing too, and this isn't to knock it, but a there's a lot of bands using playback. And
yeah,
and I, this is a big subject among a lot of us because I get it.
yeah,
Like with my own band, we've used playback only for like strings and sound effects and stuff like that because it's hard to replicate that stuff live. Bands have been doing it for years. That's not a problem, whatever. But when you start, dialing in the whole fucking show,
oh, yeah,
it's like the only leeway I'll give with bands that do that is that they have to play as much as they can to make for the tour cost. So they're playing seven in a row, eight in a row.
mm,
Now, if anybody knows anything about singing or whatever, fatigue does set it. It doesn't matter how fucking good you are. Okay. But they sound perfect, just like the record every night.
yeah,
But that's the only way they can go seven shows in a row or whatever. And it gives the band longevity
mm,
as far as that aspect goes. And as bizarre as it sounds, 90% of the time the fans don't even care or they don't even know.
yeah,
They're there for the show, the show. You know?
yeah.
And then the bands that we wish would take that advice and use tracking, like Motley Crue, they don't. You know, it's like, dude, please play back Vince, man. We love you, buddy, but dude, that's what they did with Paul Stanley. I remember seeing Kiss in the latter part of things, and his voice was shot.
Yeah,
I remember him playing Love Gun and going, "What the fuck, man?" I'm like, I feel bad. It's terrible. I know it's just time. And then, and then when they started to do tracks, people got mad. It was
mm,
like, you were bitching when he sucked, and now they freaking came up with a solution to go to the show, and you're still bitching.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
crazy. Well,
yeah.
it's really crazy. But again, I understand it. Hey, I told Ross, I go, anytime you want to pump the show and let me know, I'm all for it. I don't have to do shit. I'm like, I'll definitely do 8 shows in a row, mouth in, run around like a madman. It'd be great.
So, it makes it like saying it makes it so hard these days. Like I went and saw some bands the other week, and they sound perfect. I think I'm looking to see, looking at
Yeah,
a little mistake. Oh, hang on, you did mind that or whatever.
right,
You just don't
exactly. I mean,
know.
that's just a well-rehearsed band.
Yeah, exactly. The band was Winger. Winger.
Oh, Wing is great.
They're amazing. Like
Amazing.
it's incredible. And I mean, I don't think there was any tracks, but it was incredible.
No, my friend is a buddy of mine is Red Beach's substitute.
Yep.
and the other guy substitute, whoever they
Oh,
need.
okay, yeah.
And he says that they don't do playback.
No,
They
that's
would
good.
never allow it.
That's good to hear.
Kip's too much of a Kip is a very the thing that always made me laugh is Kip is an extraordinary musician,
Mm,
way beyond 17. And that's where the stigma comes in, you know?
yeah, yeah,
And he's amazing live. I've seen him
yeah,
wing a bunch of times. You know,
yeah,
everybody's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, but you know every song. You're singing along, you're having a good time. It's all that matters.
yeah,
I don't care, man. That's some but you go and look back at a lot of those 80s bands
yeah,
and you get past what the image was and listen to the musicianship, that's next level.
yeah.
No one's doing that no more. And people don't even realize it. Like, who's writing memorable solos like George Lynch for Alone Again or In My Dreams, where you can hum the melody of the solo?
Yeah,
That ain't happening today.
that's right.
Oh, and I love a lot of the bands. Trust me, I love heavy stuff. Like the Browning and Kill Switch Engage. I can't hum any of those leads. I'm just doing the vocals or whatever. So there was a lot of different levels of 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 musicianship that you peel away the image
Mm,
and it's there. Like, for instance, and this aggravates me. I love Avenged Sevenfold.
yeah,
Okay, and for the life of me everybody they hate them and I'm like, but why? Well, because of the way they look, they don't look metal. I'm
mm,
like, define what that even means anymore. I go, I could name you 15 people that don't look metal in bands you love.
yeah,
I said, have you ever listened to the musicianship and the writing of those? You guys, it's so far beyond what you're hearing, it's ridiculous.
yeah,
Like the last album they did, it's so off the wall. It was the biggest FU to everybody. Everybody's like, that album's garbage. I'm like, dude, it's genius. I'm like, you could never fucking even write half of one of those songs because
yeah,
you can't put your head around it.
yeah,
That's you just sometimes when you're an artist, and I guess, and I've had this conversation with a lot of people. You get bored. You can't keep writing the same thing, even though they want to hear the same thing. And that's what sucks. You get a lot of like Powerwolf, perfect example. I love them, but you're not going to tell me, oh, we got a new single out. I could sing it before the song's done because they use the same fucking melodies for everything. But it works, and that's why they're so famous and big, and it works for them, and they're content with that. I guess I would be too at that level. But when you're an artist and still into the creating thing, I can't even fathom doing the same thing. It just bores me,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. And a lot of musicians feel that way.
yeah. I mean, you're pretty busy
I'm
though.
laughing. Sorry, man. I went on
No,
a
no,
little
that's all
rant.
good.
But in closing,
Yeah,
so nothing gets misquoted. I'm not dissing anybody. I
yeah,
love it all. I'm just trying to make an example and have perspective from different angles that come in. There's no wrong and there's no right. You do what works for you. And that's what art is about.
yeah.
I don't have to like it, but I damn well respect it.
Mm,
Oh, and that's what's missing, the respecting part. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like, but I respect it. I'm
yeah,
not gonna go listen to it, but I do respect it.
mm,
And that's missing among the metal community a lot. Everybody's always like, I'm better than this and certain things get involved. And that reminds me of local band bullshit when I was a kid. It's like, get out of here, dude. I'll go play a show. I'm good. I'm good, man. You know,
exactly.
it's that's kind of just the way I think about it because yeah, it's just not worth it. It's
Yeah,
just not worth it. So
yeah.
sorry, I'm spazzing out here.
No, that's okay. But no, I was just going to say
We're
before.
talking
I
about
mean,
that.
you're talking about like not doing the same thing, but you do have a lot of different things at the moment, like Rush the Boss, Metal Church. Are
Yep,
you still doing Let Us Pray as well?
that's what I'm working on right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But dude, I had to put that on the back burner for so long,
Hmm.
and I was like, no, I got to get this done. This is mine.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the world needs to hear it because it is wild. I had way too much time to write, so I experimented a lot.
yeah.
And we have a new type of sound, and I can't wait for people to hear it because it's never been, I don't think it's ever really been done in the way that we're doing it. And that's a boast, yes, but I feel that. I wanted to make it different.
Mm.
What would you do here normally? Well, we're not going to do that. Let's try this instead. Very Rick Rubin approach to things. Like I really got into his philosophy and I really got into watching a lot of his stuff because and and the reason he is who he is, he doesn't know music, he doesn't know how to engineer, and I'm like, man, it's total vibe.
Mm.
That's what he's hearing.
Yeah.
Oh, and all the old masters, James Metallica, Lemmy, all these guys, they didn't go to music school. They don't know the theory of freaking going from this to this to this because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, did you use theory to write battery? No. No. I was in a drunken rage and we just started playing. And there you go. There's the fucking philosophy, right? And how many times have you heard those stories, you know?
Yeah.
When Jim Morrison coming in all fucked up and just laying out the fucking brilliant fucking phrasing and poetry. He's like, yeah, he was on another planet, but that's okay. You know what I mean? He was doing something different.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's
So,
awesome. Can't wait to hear that then. Do you know any ideas of when? Or it's still in the works?
I, it's my fault because I sometimes I get because I do everything.
Mm.
You know, I write all the drum parts. I arrange everything. You know, I write all the keyboards, all the vocals, all the melodies.
Yeah.
Everything's on me. John, he just handles the guitar riffs, which is awesome, and then we put it together. But the last thing that goes down is vocals,
Mm.
and I've been paralyzed with creativity because I keep thinking if this isn't the greatest thing since sliced bread, it's not gonna work. Well, you have 50 other songs. If you do that for these 50, you're gonna die before the fucking thing's done. It's a weird artist thing. It's always the first line. You
Yeah.
know, and then once it goes, it goes. So I've been forcing myself now that I've had the time and like, all right, even if it sucks, just put it down and let's go. Because it's gonna trigger an idea and is exactly what started to happen.
Mm.
You know, it's nothing worse than knowing the solution to your own problem, but never, then sometimes not being able to execute it because you play doubt, and that's the worst enemy. You know, always trying to overcome that doubt.
Yeah.
And in the material, it's so personal to me
Yeah.
more than anything. I feel like if I don't do myself due justice, then how's anybody else going to do it? I mean, I don't approach it like when I did the Metal Church record. That was a whole different beast. We were writing songs a day.
Mm.
There was a certain thing that you had to create there and subject matter. And it was kind of there. It was like, all right, Kurt's like, all right, what can we do with this? But when you're in your own realm thinking and
Mm.
you're like, oh my God, that's awesome. But what if I did this? And you're like, oh, you have to put it away. I know
Yeah.
you have to put it away. And that's the place that's coming next. It's like, dude, you gotta put it to rest and go.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
you linger, you're never gonna put it out, and you'll never know then. It sounds probably to a lot of outside people, it probably sounds ridiculous, but if you're an artist, a true artist that really cares about this stuff, they all go through it. Everybody goes through it.
Yeah.
Especially the higher ups. The higher up you go, the more pressure there is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And that's where money and business start to entwine,
Mm.
and that's where the creativity goes to die,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it does. And it does. You'll see, I mean, it's out there. You know, why you see a lot of these bands just like, I ain't doing a new record, just go play what we know, and that's what people want to hear anyways. I kind of told Ross the same thing. I'm like, dude, I said, as much as we love what we did,
Mm.
they want to hear Manowar.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's what's your legacy. And I go, you know what? I don't have a fucking problem with that. I love it.
Mm.
And I go, let's just go do what they want. Well, every time we try to inject our own stuff, it was the worst feeling because no one knows it because it was never really pushed. So we're trying to push it, and people are just like this, or they go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Toilet break.
Like I'm like, and it's not like it's a bad song or it's being
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
wrong. They just don't know or whatever. Like, I want to hear fucking Kings of Metal. I gotta go take a piss.
Yeah.
I've done it. You know, we've all done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, so it kind of get to the point where I was getting frustrated because we would have this momentum going, and then we hit our song. It was like all of a sudden, "Brrr," open the doors. And I was like, I can't deal with that. We can't do it. And I go, I can't do it, man. So it's a bummer. Does it say we won't try to do it again? Maybe, you never know. But for now, it's just, it's easier and a lot more fun just to do it the way we're doing, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, no, that's good. And you're
Yeah.
doing the same like last time, like you've got all the other hits as well as the album Son of the Hammer.
We're doing, there's 6 songs we're playing that we've never played in Australia.
Oh, really?
So yeah, pretty much almost a half of the set
Hmm.
is new for us, and we've never played it there.
Yeah.
And oh, the song selection's great, so it's good,
Oh,
very cool. Yeah,
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 excellent.
yeah. I
Really?
I wrote the set list, so
Oh,
I'm
good.
I'm in charge of the set list. So
Okay.
oh, it's great for me. I just pick my favorites. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, I get a little slap back sometimes because I'll start like even I got away with it a couple of times. Like when we last time we played Australia, it was the only place we ever played Violence and Bloodshed. We never played it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I love that song. I never played it again. Oh, I was bummed out. I'm always trying to slip that in there, or hatred, or some of the obscure shit like Bridge of Death that we did it there.
Hmm.
And and it's like sometimes you get a little bit like no one's gonna know that. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? Dude, Man of War fans know every fucking song, deep
Yeah,
cut
yeah,
or not. I'm like, you don't gotta worry about it. Oh, it's not you're not getting some new casual fan over here today. It's gonna be all the
no,
people that love the fucking records, old records.
yeah,
So you have to cater to that as well. So
yeah. I think
anyway,
definitely here too in Australia. Like you said, the Manowar fans, doesn't matter what you play, they'll love it.
yeah, because Man was never been there.
Yeah, yeah,
Blows my mind. I don't know what the hell that's all about.
yeah. I don't know.
I mean, that's crazy. It's like I think it's like one of the only countries they've never played.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it probably has to do with cost because I can only imagine knowing that side of things how that
Yeah,
probably is a major issue. Probably
yeah,
like just the expense of getting there is probably past everybody's budgets. So I mean, like for all of us, we got 4 people coming, and that was like a lot of the budget just chewed away,
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, I get $10. Exactly.
Yeah, maybe 20.
Yeah, maybe 20.
Yeah,
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 in
sorry.
American, it's 17.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I just realized the time. Do you have another interview now?
Yeah. Now I actually got to go do dinner, so.
Oh, no worries. No, but
Yep.
again, yeah, it's going to be a great show. I can't wait to see you guys. And
You're gonna be in Melbourne.
yeah, yeah, I'll be in Melbourne. Yeah,
Make sure you come and say hi.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Terrible. Sometimes I don't see people.
Yeah, yeah,
So, I tell everybody, just come say hi. I'm not gonna bark at you. I actually would want to meet people.
oh, good.
So definitely come up.
Yeah, no,
I always
excellent.
hang around. I don't, I'm not, I like to go see what's going on. I love watching the
Yeah,
openers and stuff like that too. Plus I
yeah,
get bored and I walk around.
yeah, that's right. No, definitely, I'll come say hi and
Awesome. Well,
talk.
hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. And I'll
Awesome,
see you
man.
in Melbourne next week.
Another week.
Yes, that's
Rest.
it.
Later, man.
All
Thank you,
right, thank
brother.
you. See you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye bye.